Perhaps the clearest yet desperate attempt to muzzle the Kenyan media, members of the National Assembly have toyed with bizarre suggestions, including denying journalists access to Parliament by shutting down Parliament's media centre. The MPs speaking in Mombasa further indicated their displeasure in the way the media has consistently called out their move to reinstitute CDF after the courts found elements of its law illegal. Ibrahim Karanja reports on the consistent attempts by Parliament to gag the media to have only what they wish reported on and anything else swept under the carpet.
The move by parliamentarians to now poke their nose and have control over the independent operations of the media is now taking a different yet most bizarre trajectory, with Westlands Member of Parliament Tim Wanyonyi, without flinching, calling the closure of Parliament's media centre the base of operation for all journalists covering parliamentary affairs.
What is the benefit of Parliament having a media centre housed in Parliament, and yet we don't get the benefit of it?
Wanyonyi's sentiments came at the height of responses from colleague members of Parliament in a session facilitated by Media Council of Kenya CEO David Omoyo and Kenya Editors Guild Council member Martin Masai. The desperate attempts by parliamentarians also leading to allegations of improper dressing by journalists within the precincts of Parliament by Session Chair Rachel Nyamai.
There seems to be a gap between the way Parliament conducts itself in terms of the way people dress, the way we conduct ourselves, and the big team of journalists that we have. Is there a way that we can have a conversation, or you can have a conversation with our leadership, so that, especially the young, so that they can up their game, especially on matters of the way they appear, because it is a big concern.
Nyamai's assertions largely coming out as unfounded, as pressmen accessing Parliament are also guided by the dress code as prescribed in the Speaker's rules, and a claim of improper dressing would only be an indication of failure by parliamentary orderlies who subject each person entering Parliament to deep scrutiny. Claims of a biased media during the campaign period also came up, with members of Parliament accusing the Media Council of Kenya of being toothless.
I mean, the Media Council. The Media Council seems to be important. Do you have powers? Or is there anything the National Assembly can help you in terms of legislation to ensure you get teeth to bite, so that we don't have media stations and particular journalists? And in fact, if you go to the media stations, it is not the station itself. It is particular journalists who are inciting ethnic hatred, profiling ethnicity, people along their ethnicities, on air.
Every time you have a presser or you need their services, if you don't have a budget for them, you are given a blackout. I don't know how you deal with that, how we are going to deal with it.
Is it a coincidence that two newspapers in this country had a headline talking about the misuse of bursary by members of Parliament to the tune of 1.2 billion, when we all know that members of Parliament are supposed to give this bursary as grants, and then it is up to the parents when they get the receipts from schools to send to the CDF offices? And that was put in headline in two papers. Who paid for those headlines, and what are you going to do about it? Because the reputation of members is at stake when we are fighting for the people who brought us to this house.
One key news value is timing. The timeliness of an event. It is likely to have greater visibility when MPs are here. That timing.
The latest move, seen as a continuation by the lawmaking body to control the media and its operation, being a culmination of attempts by Parliament to usurp the MCK's role of accrediting journalists, as it sought to block out validly accredited journalists from Parliament towards the end of last year. Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.